If this is so clean, then why do I need to make a big water change in this tank? Well, it looks clean now, but it was really dirty. Hey, what's up guys, Abhishek here from AV Studio, and continuing with the cleaning series. Today we are going to do a big water change in our tank, and also I'm going to show you that what I do in between two big water changes in my tank, which is the smaller water change. So before we get started, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, then please hit that subscribe button and don't forget to click the bell icon so that you don't miss out on all the exciting new videos that are going to come up on this channel. Alright, so as far as the cleaning is concerned, I generally do an alternate week big water change, which is about a good 40 to 50%, mainly to remove all the algae that's there in the tank. And in between those big water changes, I do a small water change, about 10, 15 or sometimes even 20%. So I'm going to quickly show you both of them and how long it takes and what are some of the ways in which I do it and what are some of the chemicals that goes into the tank. So let's get started. So as you can see, my tank is extremely dirty and it requires a big water change and cleaning, and I can guarantee you at the end of this the water and the tank will be fully cleaned. So to start off with, what I generally do is take off this big cover that is there on top, and now as you can see I've removed the cover. It gives me easy access to the bottom of the tank as well. And then we do a little bit of water draining. Mainly I do this so that, again, when I'm cleaning the bottom of the tank, it generally is easier to do so. For the purpose of cleaning the glass, or rather scrubbing the glass, I use 2-3 different types of sponge, a scrubber and this particular sponge which I bought separately. It's a hard sponge and I generally drop it into the water so that it softens up a bit, and then it becomes very easy to really clean the glass and you get that shiny bit back into the glass, and there are no scratches as well, after of course the initial scrubbing using something a little bit more coarse like the scrubber. So there you can see I'm kind of softening it, and now here is a look of my dirty tank which I'm going to clean now, which is going to take approximately a couple of hours. So here we go. I'm going to mainly start scrubbing using the sponge and ensure that everything that is sticking to the glass, mainly the algae, is removed. So as you can see, I am scrubbing the glass out now and it's going to become absolutely clean and clear. So this part of the tank, one half of the tank, is cleaned up. I'm using a light just to minutely check out if there are any more areas where there are algae is stuck to the glass, just to ensure that it's clean on one side before I move on to the other side, which I'm doing now. I've just moved over to the other side and just kind of scrubbing that off so that all of these dirt which are there on the other side of the tank as well is cleared out. It's mainly algae. It's brownish algae that's mainly due to the white light that I use in this tank. Of course I don't use 24 hours light, however white light will one way or the other cause a good amount of algae in the tank, and this tank I'm cleaning after 2 weeks, so it's not too bad. And because I use a UV filter, so it becomes easier to have the water not turn green. So I'm done scrubbing the bottom of the tank, and now I'm going to do a little bit of rubbing on the glass using that sponge so that we get a bit of shine back on the glass, so that even if there is a little bit of dullness or anything sticking to it, it gets removed. So once that is done, the next step would be all the dirt or all the algae that we scrubbed off from the glass is all at the bottom of the tank. So we need to do some amount of siphoning for that. So I'm going to quickly go ahead and do the siphoning and try to clean the floor of the tank as much as I can before actually starting to put water back into the tank. So here I am doing a bit of siphoning to remove whatever dirt I can from the bottom of the tank. Well, here I'm quickly measuring the amount of water I've drained, so it will give me a good idea of what is the amount of water that goes back into the tank. Like right now I'm filling the water, so I know by doing that measurement I know what volume of water I have changed, which will help me add the different chemicals that I generally add to my tank during and after water change. For example, the hypo. This sodium hypochlorite, a lot of you had asked me in my previous video what do I use this. Sodium hypochlorite crystals, which helps in removing chlorine. You can find this in any of the fish stores or aquarium shops near your place. They are very cheap. I think it costs around 200 to 300 for half a kilo or something like that. I'm not entirely sure about the cost, but you can check it out, and it's quite useful. Well, just quickly filling the water, and I also, while doing this, add some prime to it. Kind of takes care of any sort of ammonia, nitrate, and also a very good chlorine remover. Generally I tend to be very reassured every time prime is there. I can do as much water change as I want, and I know prime will take care of it. Like I said in one of my previous videos, I do not have storage, so I directly put the tap water into the tank and then add prime into it. So as we continue to fill the water, we need to get it up to the sump overflow level, and as you can see, it's kind of filling up and getting close to the sump overflow level, because once it overflows, that's when we'll be able to start the sump and start closing it out and put all of the remaining chemicals and complete the cleaning. So you can see my Elkindo red in the background on the glass. So the water is overflowing now, and as you can see, the sump is on. The water is returning as well, so we put that up, working fine. So the tank has been cleaned up, and I'm obviously going to put the cover back in place in a minute. But before that, I want to add a few more chemicals, which I generally do. The first one, of course, is stress heal. Just add about 20 ml, because I think approximately about 150 or 200 liters of water is what I changed. So just adding that 20 ml of stress heal into the water. After that, the next thing that goes in is the beneficial bacteria. I like to use special blend. You guys know that Microbelift special blend is what I use. 30 ml of that would go into the tank, or rather 30 ml of that would actually go into the sump, to ensure it goes directly into the biological chamber of the sump. I generally like to shake it a bit, because that's been told to me that when you shake it, it kind of mixes up well, and then put 30 ml into the sump. So there we go. We are just quickly putting the beneficial bacteria into the second chamber of my sump, which is the biological media chamber. So the next thing, the last thing that I'm going to be putting is pure liquid, the ocean free pure liquid. I really like it because it kind of takes away all the impurities and heavy metals out of the water and makes the water odor free and crystal clear. So another 20-25 ml of pure liquid goes into the water. So that's now done, and all chemicals have been put for that particular day. Of course, I do a little bit of glass cleaning as well. I use standard choline, keep the cover on, and then do it so that there is not anything that goes into the water. And then we want to put some nature earth. Now this is the following day. I don't put it on the same day because I allow the pure liquid to do its work. And as I had shown in one of my previous videos as well, put about a teaspoon of nature earth, about 2.5 grams, something like that, and mix it with water and put it straight into the last chamber of the sump, so that the moment it goes into the sump, it straight away goes back into the tank without having to go through the media. So there you go. I'm just adding that up into the last chamber of the sump. Whatever little residue remaining, just mix that up so that you utilize all of the nature earth that you've taken. And you can see the water is cloudy. This is the water that is going to go immediately into the tank. And of course, nature earth is a really good thing. So and the last thing that I used is the Wish Arowana Spa. I've been using it for a couple of weeks. Seems like a good product. There it goes, and that kind of concludes the cleaning and all the chemicals that have to be put into the tank. And now here you see my completely cleaned out tank, and like I said in the beginning of the cleaning, that once I finish cleaning the tank, it is going to be absolutely clean, and I think it is as good as if you've just bought a new tank. So these are the steps that I take to do the cleaning. So from here we are going to move on to the second part, which is a small water change. So basically I do every alternate weeks either a big water change or a small water change. So let's quickly watch how I do a small water change and how much time it takes. So this one's pretty straightforward. As you can see, the tank is clean because the previous week itself I would have done a big water change, and I'm just doing a little bit of siphoning and getting the floor of the tank cleaned out, because there'll probably be a little bit of dirt in there, and drain the rest of the water out. And as you can see, I'm filling the water back into the tank because that's all it takes, because like I mentioned, it's going to be 1 week big water change and then a small water change like this, and then the following week again a big water change. Here I do just about 10 to 15%, maximum 20% of water change. So like always, while doing the water change, I'm adding the prime to it. And then the water continues to fill. Some stress heal, about 15 to 20 ml. It's changed about 20% of water. That goes into the tank as well, and the water starts filling, and we are almost done filling the water. So there we go, the water is strained out, cleaned, put back in, all done in just 30 minutes. The tank is back up and ready. That's a small water change. So what you just now saw is how I do big water changes in my tank, and also how I do the smaller water changes in between the bigger water changes. Hope this information has been helpful for you. Also, I'd like to bring to your notice that Aropedia has now reached 1000 plus members, and a couple of things happening there. A contest is running wherein the winner is going to be getting a 2000 rupees discount voucher from Max Aqua King, and the winner would be announced when the group reaches 2000 members, and the winner would be that member who brings in maximum members by then. So that's a contest running. Also, I put out a notice last evening, or rather I put out a notice on Friday stating that we need a couple of moderators. And I'm really looking forward to some really energetic and enthusiastic hobbyists who'd come and help me out in growing this group. And I'm really looking forward to work with a couple of you enthusiastic people out there, learn from you, and make it a really good knowledge sharing group. So that was all for this video. In the next video, we're going to talk about something very interesting. I don't want to spill the beans just now, but stay tuned. So if you've liked this video, then please go ahead and hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, then please go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell icon. Right, so that's all in this one. Thank you so much for watching. Till I come back in the next one, peace.